Welcome back, everybody. This is really sweet that we get to come together again. So let's go ahead and begin with just a quick meditation, and then we're going to jump right into the Gunas. So close the eyes, get nice and comfortable, and take a few moments to just settle into your space. Open the eyes, close the eyes. Open the eyes, close the eyes. And open the eyes. And this time we're going to close the eyes and hang out there for 1 minute. I'll mind the time. Jai Gurudev. Very nice, everybody. Welcome. We're going to jump right into our our meeting. So I'm going to share my screen with you. We are going to jump right into the Gunas. I'm going to minimize myself so I am not in the way. So the Gunas consist of Raja, Sattva, and Tamas. Raja being the more active, passionate, desired one. Tamas being your inertia, a little bit more introspective, a little more darkness. It's a heavier matter. And then Sattva being the truth, goodness, the light, illumination, the Shishrimad Nadi. And if we look at these, we actually do see them in correlation to our nadis, as well as our granthis, as well as our VPK. And VPK, as we'll learn later down the road, is our Ayurvedic constitution. So VPK being V, Vata, P, Pitta, and K, Kapha. Rajas is most associated to the Pitta constitution. It would be the most associated to our I just said it earlier and it just slipped my mind. So it's going to be the most associated to our Vishuddha Granthi. So that way it is in the center of the body. And so it's most associated to the belly region up through the fiery aspect of our personalities. Tamas is heavier and therefore would be more associated to the Kapha constitution. It is more sloth, dullness, more unctuous, oily, heavier. It binds by means of ignorance and obstruction, creates its own obstacles. And so this type of personality tends to see the glass as half full, as opposed to Rajas looking at it as full and full of potential. And then Sattva is correlated to our Vata constitution, which is more airy and lighty and social. And so it's more illuminating and it's more upward flowing. And so when the three of these are combined together, just as the three of them combine, Kapha, Vata, Pitta, combined in our own constitutional makeup, they are what make us who we are. And so when we have, and then also, by the way, Tamas would be associated to the Muladhara chakra and or the Muladhara Bandha, which would be Brahma Nadi, and then or Brahma Granthi, and then Sattva would be associated to the Jalandhara, which would be at the top of illumination. When the three of them combine and they travel up the Sushumna Nadi to combine at Agnya Chakra, which we therefore then see the wings of the caduceus, or the wings that come out from the center eye, then we come into the space of connection and what we would call Anandamaya Kosha. So the gunas govern each chakra, and they exist in the physical and subtle bodies. They function to guide rajas and tamas towards sattva and brahmanadi. The embodiment of sattva lets us move through our karma with grace, and we come to know that our karma is the matter composition of who we were, who we're going to be, and who we are right now. And the karma is constantly changing. So based on our actions and based on how we are living our karma through the dharma of our purpose, through our actions that we put into practice, is how we begin to consciously change the constitution of our karmic cycle, therefore creating new patterns and new waves and new ripples in the lives to come. According to Dr. Tony Nader, the gunas reflect a dynamic process resulting in what are known as networks or modes. Networks are how a system integrates with other systems to work in unison. Modes consist of all the different variables that make up the networks and how they operate efficiently. The greater the differentiation from unity to diversity, the greater is the potential for complexity. The larger the nodes, the number of modes, the three directions within consciousness, according to Dr. Tony Nader, of the Maharishi Mahesh yogic Vedic lineage, describes the gunas as follows. Tamas, destroying and diminishing tendencies, obstacles to the ability to behold singularity or see the togetherness of all, of unity within all. Rajas, restless tendencies, activities that do not lead to progress and therefore do not contribute to the ability to behold singularity or to see the togetherness and unity within all. So we know Rajas, similar to doshic constitution of Pitta, it doesn't play well with others. And then Sattva is the evolutionary or constructive tendencies, and that's the growth towards greater ability to behold singularity or see the togetherness and unity within all. So Sattva kind of takes a big step back and looks at a paradigm from all the different aspects and sees it from the big picture versus from just the small little tiny lens like we have right here in front of us. So the role of guna and karma, the unmanifest reality, exist as guna and karma. Guna compromises, and that would be Śrimad Bhāgavatam, and that's the reality in Sanskrit, what it's known as. And this guna comprises our past habits, and they exist in a latent form unless they are enacted into behavior. Karma comprises the results of previous actions, and it also lies latent unless converted into an outcome. Both guna and karma, therefore, exist as material possibilities, but they are not observable facts. The transformation of these possibilities involves time and free will. So, for instance, all past habits will not automatically become behavior if we can control those habits through free will. Similarly, all results of previous actions don't manifest at once because time transforms them from an unmanifest state into an observable fact. So, time transforms them from an unmanifest state into an observable fact means that they are still settling in the sense of your beingness. And once it subtly rises and you begin to feel the sensations of your growth and the intuition of where to go next, this therefore becomes the manifest of your karma. Our experiences are produced from the interaction of guna and karma. As noted earlier, the unmanifest becomes manifest when its uncertainty is reduced by adding information. Guna and karma are information from the past, which exists as abstract information. When the guna and karma of different individuals are combined, the total uncertainty, which previously existed in those individuals separately, is reduced, thereby producing an observable fact. So when we're introduced with more information based on other people's karma, and we integrate that into our life, then we're actually reducing the strain and the uncertainty of what the karma once was and how it naturally evolves based on the conditions and the surroundings and the environment that we're introducing. So I want to check in with how everyone was doing with Erawan and Erhowan pranayama. Make sure that you go back and revisit Erawan and Erhowan pranayama as you'll integrate that practice into your practice here. And so let me just pause. And then lastly, with utilizing our Erawan and Erawan pranayama practice, then we're able to refine the evolution of our karma and dharmic constitutions based on what we're putting into our bodies. So this particular pranayama breath work is really helpful in preparing us for TM. So that's what we will be working on. Oops, I was muted there. So that's what we're going to be working on. And so I want you to just take some time to pause this video, or we'll stop the video here so that way you can go back and practice the Era 1, review the Gunas. If you need to do some reading, please, I offer that as always an extension to the practice is read, and offer yourself the self-care and the self-practice that you need so that you can embody everything that you're learning. So it's not just reading the material and going with it and just taking it in as it is. Take it in, nourish yourself with it, just like a bowl of porridge, how you'll eat the bowl of porridge. My grandfather made this for me, so it's made with lots of love. And I eat the bowl of porridge and it's all done. I was a good girl. I ate the whole thing. And how it nourishes my body and how it's going to warm up my fire in my belly for my Vishuddha Granthi. My Jalandhara Bandha is open a little bit now. I feel the warmth in the throat diaphragm. I feel it in the pelvic floor. I feel it in the belly. So I feel the energy moving through the body. So this nutrition is now providing me this energy to take on whatever venture I'm going to do in the next couple hours. So give yourself kind of an awareness of how you nourish yourself based on the information you're receiving, the food that you're taking in, and lastly, the meditations that you do. What we're working towards is the progression of awakening into our transcendental meditation. But through transcendental meditation, we're able to really dive into and even change the DNA and the composition of our karma. And so let's start with Era 1 and Era 1 pranayama, which will ultimately lead us to Anuloma Viloma, which is our alternate nasal breathing. And then that will prepare us as well with the yogic asanas for our meditations going forward. Please enjoy this practice, enjoy reviewing the gunas, and as always, comment, question, respond, email, anything and everything that you would like to know more about, and we will be sure to cover that in our next video. Much love, everybody, from my heart to yours. Namaste, and I'll see you in our next session.